Well, hello there, everyone. My name is Richard Rory, and welcome to Rory's Survival Series. Today's going to be a fun episode. As you can see from the random spinning wheel, out of the many projects I could take on at this time, I'm going to be taking on the Nether roof. The Nether base. I'm going to be making a big old Nether base, and it's going to be really fun. Now, allow me to show you my Nether and show you some of the cool things I can do. Yes, first I need to show you this little Nether roof up here. This is my network of portals, my subway, if you will. It is going to be the place where all of my transportation is going to be happening. So if I come down here, this is the single bedrock I have broken to get to the actual Nether itself. All of my portals are on the roof, except for one in a bastion 1,000 blocks away in the Nether. It's like 13,000 blocks away in the overworld. But allow me to show you the location I picked for the base. Alright, take a peek here. This is my Nether. It is a beautiful Nether. This is not the location I've chosen for the Nether base. I have chosen a similar location. If you come over here, you have this wonderful crimson forest with a decent amount of space up here. Come here. Lag. Lag happens sometimes. I can't completely get rid of it, but I've definitely taken some measures to reduce it. Okay, this is the location I've selected for the Nether base. This spot right here. I think it's really pretty. It's not super wide and open, but the thing is, I think it's the closest thing that's got a big amount of space to it. And I think there's a lot of character in this location, and that's gonna have to do. Now, I think there's something special about having a Nether base in the midst of the actual Nether. The thing is, I also need it to be functional and super convenient to get to, which means it needs to be connected to the Nether roof. Now, I have over here a big circle that I have created. This circle right here, this is going to be a hole in the Nether roof. Now, this is going to be quite an ambitious project, and I don't know for sure how long it's going to take. But I know it probably takes a minute to destroy each bedrock block, and I've probably got a good 200 blocks. So I've gotten some TNT. This may not be enough, who knows. I need to get a couple other resources, but I'm going to be spending the next, probably remainder of this day, busting a big old hole in the Nether roof. Now, as you saw in the Nether down here, this is where the base is going to be. I just need to pop through the top. I jotted down the coordinates. The epicenter of this little circle right here is right into a very, conveniently spaced spot where I won't have to dig too much. But it's still gonna be, it's ambitious, and I'm really excited for it. It's gonna take a while. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I think it's gonna be a fun one. Enjoy me busting up all this stuff. Okay, so I made a bit of a mistake. My disk space got full in the middle of my recording, so I lost a whole bunch of stuff, but this is the progress so far. It's cool. It's going quickly. I'm quite enjoying it. I might even make it bigger. It's taking a long time, but the thing is, it took me a while to figure out why it wasn't working, and only working sometimes, so apparently you need to have a really quick speed. I would assume within a tick, so you need to have 20 clicks per second or more, which I can't do reliably, so I just switched my use button to Q, and I just use my finger to do that. So, and that means that I've been getting it most of the time now. But I am running out of TNT, so I'm gonna go and get some more TNT, and then I think that's gonna be good. 5 stacks of TNT might be all that I have left to work with. Alright, enjoy the time lapse. The actual one that I'm gonna make. You know, part of me wished I was be able to say, oh, now that I have this hole dug, I don't know what to do with it. I know exactly what to do with it. It's annoying. Actually, the reason why I was so frustrated in getting this hole dug is because I knew exactly what I wanted to get doing. we have an Oblivion Remastered. I'm a big Elder Scrolls fan. I don't play the games very much anymore because they kind of, I don't know, I just like lost the attention span for that sort of thing. But to build it in Minecraft, I'm going to be building some Oblivion style stuff in the Nether. But there are a couple things I need to do. First things, block choice, definitely blackstone, definitely deep slate, none of which I have. Those are blocks that did not exist in this world 2 months ago. There's also a whole bunch of really interesting white glowy, like yellow-orange glowy stuff, which I think would be perfect if I were to use raw gold for that, so I have a little bit of that right here. I actually have incredibly little of it. I'm gonna have to go gold mining. I don't need a lot because it is it's only an accent. It only appears on like the big buildings. But like, look at that. That looks really cool. This is one of my favorite blocks in Minecraft. It's like one of the best things that happened in the Caves and Cliffs update. Anyhow, I have a couple things to do. First off, gather materials. I don't want to have to do that right now. That's gonna drive me insane. Though I am going to enjoy breaking a bunch of this netherrack. Now, if you look over here, we actually have a lot of really interesting terrain, just like in the real nearby area. Knock it off. We have some real good terrain here. I mean, it's not the best, but the thing is, it's really close to spawn. So we have this little section down here, which is our Crimson Forest. It's a dangerous biome, but the thing is, I quite like the aesthetic of it. And if you were to go over here, you have a bunch of big empty space here. So we could build some really cool things here. Things that, like, you know, require a lot of space. But there's an even better spot down here. So if you look into here, we have, of course, our big lava pen. And it's just layer upon layer upon layer. I could be building this for hours. So we're just going to get, like, we're probably just going to focus on the top part for now, because I'm running low on time for this episode. I'm working on another project, an AI project. It's really exciting. But the thing is, like, it takes so long to get that to work, and it's such a slow progress that, like, it just drives me insane. I can't do AI work full time. I mean, I love the work, but it's just, there's so much of it, and you spend so much of your time with things not working. But as you can probably see, I was a tad bit off because that was supposed to be the area for the hole. But it just never turned out that way. It just kind of, like, I was off by like maybe 15 blocks, which made no sense to me. I think I just flipped an axis or something. I don't know, I made a mistake in the math, but like all this area right here, this has to go. All this like netherrack and stuff. Now this hole may seem pretty big, but also keep in mind, I want it to be decorative too, which means all this entire layer is gone. And that means the hole just got like 2 blocks deep, like smaller. Just on all sides, just by adding that one little wall. And there's probably also going to be some detailing too. I already went and re-healed all my stuff. So at this point now what I can do is just kind of work with the terrain a little bit. I'm going to take a quick glide by to see, okay. The hole's actually not that far off, actually, because if you dig just a little bit, the hole's like right there. So we could actually use all this extra space for like a really decorative opening. And then this, taking all that down, is really not that big of an ask. It's all insta-mine. So if you come down here, we can build some cool things. I'm just gonna build from the top down, but I want it to be flyable, if that makes any sense. I want it to be navigatable. I want to be able to navigate it with relative ease with the elytra. But if I could just dig all of this out and get like this big old circular chunk like eradicated, I think I'll be able to have a better idea of like some of the cool things I can put here. Okay, time for a big time lapse. Another one. Okay, I used my last firework rocket, which means I'm gonna have a hard time getting back up there, but just take a peek at that. Look at that. That hole opened up, and it's just like so much more space, and I can get to it. That hole was really accessible. It's a nice size. I think it was worth all the effort. I don't think it needed to be any bigger, but I'm definitely glad it isn't smaller. So I cleared up all that space, and how just like this entire area just opened up really well. Now I have a general idea of what I'm going to do. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of like Oblivion-inspired fortresses, and I'm just going to do it on like a million different layers, because I have a million different layers to work with. So the sky is really the limit, or rather I don't really know what's the limit. We're in the Nether. There isn't very much sky. I mean, there is now because it just blew a hole through the through the ceiling. I mean, like, all them pigs was just looking up and like, what's that? Is that sky? But yeah, clearing out all that area only took about half an hour, and only half the durability on a single one of my pickaxes. So I think that's a good start. I'm going to go and heal up and get some more firework rockets before I see what I want to do with the rest of it. Now, gold's very abundant in the Nether, but not in the form that I need it to be. I need a whole bunch of raw gold. That's really important, because, like, that block has, like, a really nice texture. It's not as clean of a texture as they have in the... Oh, hold on. Do I want to make it emissive? I have not decided. Because, like, in Oblivion, it's, like, a really neat texture. And it looks really well and dandy and polished. And it's emissive, too. There's not a lot of emissive blocks that I can use. I could use shroom lights, but those... The texture on those is just pretty dark. What is wrong? What happened? I had some gunpowder in here. Do I have to sit at the creeper farm again? Taking the paper. Okay, please tell me I was smart. There's nothing in the rocket box. Okay. That's really bad, because I'm gonna have a hard time getting there without rockets. I do not want to have to tower on my way out there. Okay, that settles it. I'm gonna go kill a creeper. I'm gonna go do this the old-fashioned way. Who needs a creeper farm? I need a creeper farm. Who needs a creeper farm right now? I need a creeper farm. Who needs a creeper farm to get to the creeper farm? I don't. Okay. Oh, is that you? Hold on. There's gunpowder in here. That's what I did with that. There's 4 gunpowder. Okay. Life's easy. 12 rockets is definitely enough to get up there. Oops. Also, when I was mining all that bedrock, I had to switch my my use button to Q because I could not click fast enough. I was misfiring almost every single time. No! Okay, I have more rockets! Okay. Okay, I need to heal this. I wouldn't have to have anything in here, would I? No. Let me take the scaffolding, though. Okie dokie, I'm probably gonna surprise myself by walking over and not seeing something absolutely hateful. Because I would come over here and I would look at this unfinished hole, and I would just go insane. But it's a finished hole now, and that's a lot of space. Now, the only thing that was really super important to me is just having a nice little area that I can fly through, and it looks like I can get through the entirety of this pretty well. It is still kind of risky to fly around and use rockets, but with practice, I could get really used to it and not die all the time. And even if I were to die, the only thing that would be super sad to lose would be an elytra. But there's not a ton of lava over here. As a matter of fact, I could remove a lot of the danger by just coming over here and plugging up that lava hole. But I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't need to do very much more terraforming because I have a clear path that I can go through. Like, seriously, I can fly through here with relative ease, which means I don't have to destroy any more large chunks of netherrack, sorry. I think I can live with what I got. So I'll just build with what I have. I'll clean this up because I kind of did a hack job with some of these walls, but all it is now is cleaning everything up and building the actual building. Oh yes, I forgot. I need to actually get the materials for this. Yeah, deep slate is what I'm looking for. I might use some black stone. I'm still not certain about the black stone, but I know the deep slate, dark, but not black. gray is the main color scheme here in like a lot of these Oblivion like fortresses. Okay, so I have repurposed all of these boxes. They were used in my inner chest, and they were used for basically nothing. I haven't used them in literally years. I'm not kidding. I have not used those things for years. Now, you may be wondering, this is a 1 out of 15 world. How are you gonna get deep slate? I don't know. I mean, I had the deep slate layer. I don't know why. That's why I don't know. I mean, like, according to the internet, what happened to my world is not supposed to be possible. Because if you look down here, look, that's deep slate. I was not supposed to be able to get this, but I did. It just spawned under here. I just realized I may have come down here and not actually brought any light source. I'm looking for a handful of things. Need to go even further down. It goes pretty far down. But it does not matter how inefficiently I mine this, the deep slate is actually something I'm going for. That is one of the goals, was to get cobbled deep slate. So if I'm not mining super efficiently, that's fine. And I'm probably going to get a bunch of diamonds, because that is the kind of thing you do when you go deep slate mining. You get a lot of diamonds. Not like a ton of diamonds, but the thing is, you find a lot of diamonds when you're not looking for them. You'd be surprised. And I don't need to be able to light myself up. I can see just fine. Ah, there we go. This is what I was looking for. Let's get you. And luckily, fortune works on you now. I don't know if that was always a thing. Yeah, that was gonna happen. I absolutely knew it. It was bound to happen at some point. Look at you. Look at you. You're going well. Good job, Minecraft. You are doing it correctly. And lo and behold, I found my first cave. My first underground cave that there is no exiting from. Diamonds! Okay, this is frustrating. I found more diamonds and not any gold. It's, like, really annoying. Like, you spend so much of your early game really needing diamonds, and then as soon as you don't need diamonds, it's all you can find. Look at that, I just turn around, and there's gold. Okay, this is way more like it. Many more diamonds, which I don't need, but hopefully a lot of gold. I'm not seeing any gold, that's frustrating. There's the gold I was looking for. Well, that's surprising. There's diamonds. I hope I don't die down here. I'm getting swarmed. I'm getting swarmed. This is bad. Okay. That was a well-earned panic. I don't know what biome I'm in, but the water's so blue. And that is the bluest water. The mobs at this point are just in these ones. Now, I've went ahead and gathered an incredible amount of gold and an incredible amount of redstone ore, as well as really interesting amounts of deep slate. Just stuff you get from the overworld. Now, I am trying to figure out what colors I can use. I'm looking in particular for a very reddish color that's dark and blooming. This could work. This could work. I'm a little worried that it might not be dark enough. Here, let's use this crappy deep slate ore. That works. Actually, we're good. We're good. That looks way darker in contrast with that than I thought it would. That looks perfect. Okie dokie. Now, something tells me I may live to regret this, but I'm gonna do it. It's probably a good idea. I mean, it's just another right hoe, right? Yeah! This couldn't possibly be a waste of money. Now, my veteran Minecraft status says, hey, that's a very bad idea, but recently, maybe not so recently, it's been a few years, but like at some point, Mojang decided, you know what, let's make those useful, and there are certain types of blocks, which I think, I didn't even check before making the netherite hoe, that you should be able to break using the netherite hoe with high efficiency. So I just went all out and fully committed to it. mean, you never really know until you try it. So I'm gonna go fly down to somewhere where there's one. I don't want to destroy the natural terrain of this too much, but let's see if you hurry up. Yes, it's Instamine. Okay, cool. It's gonna be very useful. And I think Silk Touch was the right choice. I don't know what blocks can only be obtained with Silk Touch, but I think it'd just be easier to be able to mine grass as a whole with it. You know, just... I can always make another one, I guess. It's only 4 ancient debris. Okay, I'm gonna go and gather everything that I need to make this work. Okie dokie, many a moment later, and I can't say I'm all that unprepared. I mean, I got plenty of shroom lights. Now, of course, I haven't tried out what I'm trying to accomplish here for shroom lights, so let's do a comparison. So you have your blocks of gold, and you have your deep slate. So this is option 1. I quite like it, but it's not luminous, so I want to see what's the comparison with this. From afar and then contrast it with the red. I really cannot tell which one I like better. They both have good things going for the both of them. I think that does it. I think the orangey glow here contrasts better with the red. Okay, so we'll go with shroom lights then. It is rather unfortunate because I did mine all this gold, but oh well. Not even if I do have to get more, I'll just kind of do it in between and off camera, because otherwise I'm just going to end up with a bunch of pointless footage. So, I got my red accents, I got this, that, the other thing. I may start experimenting with other things, but I'm just going to build the structures, and then the terrain I might switch over to, like, basalt and blackstone and a bunch of lava. Do I have iron? How much iron do I have? I have, like, a stack here in my inventory. More iron would be great. Because it's going to take up a lot of lava. So it's going to be a lot of trips if I ever do decide to put lava up here. But, yeah, that's a good enough start to get building. I'm really excited for this. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy a nice time lapse of me building some really epic Oblivion Planes type stuff up here. Well, I must say, this is going way better than I thought it would. It's coming together quite nicely. However, of course, there's the issue of it taking an incredible amount of time. But if you look at this thing, it takes on many a shape, especially as you fly through it. It's relatively easy to fly through, and it's just an interesting dynamic thing. This did take a lot longer than I thought it would, but also, it's much bigger than I thought it would be. Which is nice, because I'm glad that I spent all this time digging out this huge hole, only for it to appear like such a massive build, which is definitely what I was going for. This hole's definitely a lot larger than I thought it would be, considering now that I have all this, other stuff around it. And I do say, I love the color scheme. This is my favorite color combination, and I would say the Nether wart goes very well with the deep slate. The deep slate, it's a nice, mellow, dark gray, and it just adds perfect amount of contrast, but not too much contrast. It's got a little bit of lightness, so you can use a little bit of darkness and whatnot in the build of it. This is just altogether turning out to be a really awesome build. I don't know what it looks like from afar, though. I've never been out this far. Let's get a good look. There we go. There it is. I think I can make some really interesting things, too, for this. Now it's time to move on to the actual outer builds. Okie dokie, so I am halfway through the timeline of me trying to get this episode done, and I'm not making an insane amount of progress, but the thing is, this is such a huge project. I mean, it's really cool, really fun. I love this. I love every second of building this, but it's a long, slow process. But the reason I am recording at this very moment is because I am not satisfied with this gradient choice. I need a block that's lighter than this, and I have one. But that's too smooth. You see my problem? There is, however, a block that might just fit what I need it to do, the mud block. You see, this is textured, so I'm okay with it. This is textured, so we're good. This is all textured. This is textured, but way too dark. The mud block. That is the perfect block choice for this. I don't know if I can get the mud block, though. Wait, hold on. It's craftable. But I would say if I were to get the mangrove swamp, I might be able to get a new type of wood block for this build in and of itself. Okay, so Reddit says I can get the mangrove swamp in new chunks. Google's AI overview doesn't. But I think I know which one's more reliable. Reddit. Okay, so I know if I go anywhere in, like, this hemisphere, I am going to end up going, like, 5,000 blocks and still being in snowy biomes. So, let's go over yonder. Oh, I hope I don't die. Because I got swamp here. That's a good sign, right? And then, of course, we're surrounded by snowy mountains. It's really frustrating. I don't know how far away I'd have to fly to get the mangrove swamp. I might just have to craft. This is definitely a new chunk, but okay, we're making progress. We're in new biomes here. Jungle is good. Jungle means we can skip those things. There's so many room portals. You know, Minecraft did a much better job with the terrain generation. I thought for a second that I liked the old school retro terrain generation, but come on. Look at how beautiful this is. This is so much more fun to explore, and it's bigger. Like, the biomes, like, the structure spawns so much bigger, so you spend so much more time exploring. Okay, so that's progress right there. That's Savannah over there. That is good progress. Okay, here's two dark biomes, two warm biomes, sorry. So if I just follow, like, say, this order, I may end up... No, that's a temperate biome. I will find it eventually. Oh, more jungle. Okie dokie. I am, like, 14,000 blocks from spawn. And I'm running low on rockets, which means once this thing's gone, if I don't find one, I'm probably not going to find one before my rockets run out. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to turn around real soon here. Yeah. I keep finding cold biomes. That old chunk of warm biomes, I literally explored the entire thing. All I was finding was, like, savanna, and desert, and jungle, and warm ocean. But I looked around that entire little super biome, I guess, and nothing. Okay, my FPS is a mess. Well, that's not sketchy at all. But there's a desert temple over there, so... Dude, I'm literally rendering, like, 4 times the terrain that I was originally. Like, the audio's messed up from me doing this. There. Oh, look, I got dune armor trim. I knew I would get this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know if you can hear me right now, but I gotta stop this soon because Minecraft's probably gonna crash from me running out of memory. So yeah, this is way too sketchy. Okay, there's my thing. And I'm gonna be seeing my airships literally any second now. You see, that's my airship. There we go! I'm back in the familiar area of everything, and I didn't die and lose all my stuff 10,000 blocks from spawn. Yay! Okay, let me show you this incredibly tedious process. Hold on, do you need to be dirt for this? Yeah, there's that. That's what I can do. Isn't that nice? Anyway, 50 mud is what I got right now, so that should be enough to get done what I'm trying to attempt to get done. But I am running out of rockets, so I need to go over here to my super special store and cry. I need to go over here. I need to cry underneath this airship. Let's find a spot with a few mobs. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I can make that fly. Barely. 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 And I only almost died. Okay, enough distractions. Now it's time to do the thing I was actually trying to do, which is get mud for my gradient. Because as you can see, this is way too dark. I think I've already gone through this, so I'll just build this and show it. Okie dokie, so it's a little bit under-textured, but the color is right, and it's more textured than what we had originally, so, you know, this'll do. I can do mud, and then if you come over here, it fits this gradient a little bit better. It's good over here as like a dark shadow, so yeah, we finally got this thing working. So anyhow, this was like basically an entire day's work, and then another entire day's work, or rather a half day's work because I was busy gathering materials and stuff. But this was also a half day's work. It's only 2 in the afternoon for me now, and I got started at like afternoon, so like maybe noon 30. So I might be able to get a substantial amount done today, and then I'll work on my chipper project when I'm done with Minecraft. So, woohoo! Okie dokie, you're gonna hate this, but, ghasts spawn on the ground, and because I had built this big old thing, this thing spawned, and my elytra broke. Of all things, man, I need to go and walk my way over to the Enderman farm. Okie dokie, so I guess I'm taking a break now, but this build is going very slowly. I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy. I enjoy doing this build very much. But the thing is, I wanted to have this whole thing, a big fortress up here, and I wanted to have smaller fortresses kind of throughout here within this very episode. But I now realize that's a bit of unrealistic expectation, because these builds are incredibly complex. Because, for one thing, I'm building everything at an angle, so this is at a 45-degree angle, so I'm building everything diagonally, which allows me for some very interesting building mechanics, but it's still a little bit complicated. It's like, once you get used to it, it's not that bad. But things like this, like curves and like all these hooks and stuff, I actually need to look something up. Hold on. Okie dokie, so I'm just using Perplexity for this, but anyway, copyright fair use is a horrible, evil thing, but you probably get the gist of this. I'm making one of the Oblivion Planes in Minecraft. If you play the game at all, you'll understand what that means. So, that is what I am building, but as you can tell probably, there's a lot of really interesting shapes that I have to recreate in Minecraft. And those take time, because some of them are, like, angular, isometric, like, you know, just, like, plane things like that. Like, that's a straight line. And then, of course, there's these curved things, like hooks, and things like that, which get way more complicated, especially the bigger ones. You probably saw in the time-lapse, I took that one, and I just tore it down, like, literally 2 seconds ago, because it was too high, or too this, too that, just tiny, itty-bitty little things make, like, me have to rebuild some of the things I'm already building. And that's not to say this is a small build either. This is pretty big. But until I figure out what I'm going to be doing with this, I'm going to give myself until Friday to... Sorry, I'm going to give this until the end of tomorrow, which is Thursday, to build, and then I'm going to start and then I'm going to decide whether or not I want to make this a 2-week episode or not, because I'm really at a loss here. Yeah, this is how it works. I have 2 days to build before I start uploading this video, which means I have to be very careful with what I do. Man, this is gonna take so long. This is a mega build. This is a mega base. I think getting it started is enough. But also, on a side note, my bows keep vanishing. I've made 2 full-powered bows with, like, max-level enchantments and whatnot, and they've both gone, like, missing. So, that's a completely side note. I want to make another one, because, like, especially in the Nether, a bow can be really helpful. But, well, a wee bit later, I have this entire bridge and pathway and gate all finished. I've got some things that are going to despawn up there. If anything, if there's differences between that pillar and that pillar, they are minor and not really incredibly noticeable, which is fine. Symmetry is way harder than you might think in Minecraft, because, or at least for me, because I'll build something one way, like, and logically, if it looks good, I'm like, okay, we're good, and then I'll immediately forget what I did. And it's really hard to randomly come up with the same thing twice, so I just have to take several screenshots of my build and flip it on the other side. You might have even seen a couple times. I had built this backwards, that little spire backwards a couple times. But, yeah, it's not too far off from what I was working off of my reference image, which is good. So that looks good, that looks good. Those 2 things are a little bit bigger than what they are in the image, but it works just fine. This is what I managed to get done within the course of an episode. I think it looks really cool. We got a gateway to Oblivion, and as a bonus, we have a giant hole to the bottom of the Nether. So I can just fly around here. I've probably demonstrated this already, but I think it's just a really nifty thing I can do. And we also gathered a whole bunch of materials, so I am still ready to go and continue working on this giant project. So I think we've got a lot of really fun episodes coming up with this. Of course, I'm going to space them out a little bit, so you'll get a chance to look at some of the other things I've got going on. So I honestly don't know what I'm going to be doing next, because I am quite literally going to be going around and using that little spin wheel, because, like, sometimes it's just easier to be surprised by a project than it is to, you know, actually worry about deciding which one to do. But this one was really fun. I gotta get to editing this because, you know, it's like I'm kind of out of time for this one. But you know what? I think I can break this project into a whole bunch of smaller episodes, and it'll be all good. This was really fun. I've never really built anything like this before, and it's got a lot of really interesting, dark, brooding shapes and curves, and just stuff that's really not that simple to make. But, you know, I think I'm definitely getting a lot better at building, even in, like, the past couple months, because this stuff's just insane. But, guys, One last thing, if you'd like me to pray for you for anything at all, I will happily do it. We got no requests yet, but you know, I'm a Christian VTuber, or just Christian YouTuber, and you know, I'll happily pray for y'all. So enjoy the next video. Why don't you click on it right now? You know, you're already watching this far. You know, you could just check the video on the screen. I got some really cool ones coming up recently. So I'll see y'all.